Hi there, David McBride here again with another OneConference speaker profile. I'm here today with Evan LaPointe. Evan is founder of Core, where he's focused on the performance of teams. And he's also well known in the industry as the founder of Satellite, which has also gone on to be known as Adobe DTM and Launch. His topic at OneConference will be mechanic or driver. What kind of analyst are you? Hey, Evan, how's it going?
It's going well. How are you?
Great, thanks for joining.
It's my pleasure.
So I'm excited to hear more about what you're going to be speaking about at OneConference. But first, what's going on in your life right now? What's exciting you about your work life?
Well, like you said, my new business, which has probably been going for 5 or 6 years now, is mostly focused on team performance. So obviously, with a background in analytics, anybody who's been in that field long enough kind of knows that whether or not all that analytics effort translates into any impact in the business has everything to do with how high functioning the team is, with the relationships they have, et cetera. So it's really exciting to work in a field where you're actually moving the needle in a really big way, because while we kind of associate success in analytics with our tools and our kind of technical ability, the truth is, if we don't twist the knob of team performance and have a high performance team, that stuff really doesn't translate into anything from a standpoint of outcomes. So I guess it's just very fulfilling to watch teams go from where they are to really where they can be to reach their potential.
I love that. A very relevant topic in this day where we have access to so much data, so much technology, but often it sometimes, I guess, doesn't seem to live up to the investment potential. So it's cool that you're focused on that. Let's talk about your presentation at OneConference. Mechanic or driver, what kind of analyst are you? I wonder if you could unpack that for a minute and give people a sense for what you plan to address.
Yeah, so Joe and I started talking a couple months ago about potentially speaking at the conference, and as you know, I'll do anything to help this community in this industry. Speaking of reaching potential, this industry and this community has an unbelievable amount of potential that is some of which is tapped into, some of which isn't tapped into yet. So when Joe and I were talking about the idea of speaking, we were just brainstorming topics, and what came up was that I felt for a long time that analysts themselves sometimes misinterpret what their job actually is. And it's not necessarily their fault, because the job is very sneaky in what it actually is. And we got into this topic of the difference between mechanical work and influential work, and how analytics looks like mechanical work on the surface. Mechanical work being stuff like engineering, right? If we're designing an airplane, it is self-evident that we've done a good job when the airplane lifts off the ground and begins to fly. There's no other explanation needed. And as a mechanic, as a mechanically minded person, we've designed a thing that works. And it's also self-evident when we've designed a thing that doesn't work and the plane doesn't lift up off the ground. Influence work is a whole different type of work. And we see that in sales and in marketing, where your job is to get humans to do something, to get humans to buy into an idea or to take a specific action. And while analytics looks on the surface like mechanical work, because we use all these tools and all these formulas, and to us, it's self-evident that the plane left the ground. When we look at organizations using analytics, 76% of them say that they're not data-driven. They don't have a data-driven culture. They're not good with data, et cetera. That plane is on the ground. So what's not evident to anybody but us is that we've done a good job. And we now have to realize, oh, in this really sneaky way, analytics is actually a job of influence, not of mechanics. It's really a job of both. And since we focus so much on developing that skill of like engineering our aircraft, we have not developed fully our skill of influencing people and organizations to get takeoff to occur. So that's kind of what the topic is going to be, is kind of what kind of got us to this point of having all this potential but not being airborne, and what specifically we can do to get really, really big, really quick wins coming out of the gates, coming out of the conference, to understand, oh, this is how influence begins. This is how I get humans to pay attention to me, to actually engage with these ideas, to actually take action based on these ideas, to cooperate, to fundamentally change the dynamics of how analytics works within organizations.
I love that. I mean, the need for big, quick wins, I think, has never been more stark for our industry than it is right now. So everyone who attends, I think, is going to, based on what you've shared there, going to walk away with some tangible, actionable items, which should pay off well for their companies, also potentially for their careers. So that sounds really exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited. You know, anytime you get a chance to get one of those, oh, this is what was missing, and things start working in a new way moments, that's an exciting moment. So I'm really excited to share some of that.
Awesome. Well, one of the great things about OneConference, in addition to the content shared from the stage, is the opportunity to connect, to converse, to share reflections, ideas. And so I assume you'll be there available to further the conversation with people in attendance in the hallways or around the meal
Oh
table.
yeah, I'm there stem to stern, and I've never shied away from the lobby bar conversations that happen at these conferences. So
Where
you know where to
magic
find me if it's
happens.
not at the official
We should start
conference.
counting how many companies have been founded through ideas spurred on through lobby bar conversations.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Well, I'm looking forward to it, Evan. I know all of our audience will gain much from it as well. Thank you so much for taking time today, and also for taking the time to prepare and deliver this at OneConference. It'll be great.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Be sure to sign up for OneConference now if you haven't already. October 10th through 12th in Chicago, and you'll be able to hear from Evan and others. And really looking forward to those conversations.